You can run, but you can't hide. Coming, football.
He was just shunting, ready for his return journey, when
That sounds like a steam engine.
the hiss came again.
Who's there?
Are you a Fat Controller's engine?
I am proud of it.
Thank goodness. I'm Oliver, and I'm with my brake van Toad. We've run out of coal and have no more steam.
But what are you doing?
Escaping
From what?
scrap.
Douglas shivered.
I'll be glad to help you. It'll have to look, though, as if you're ready for scrap and I'm taking you away.
Their drivers and firemen agreed to help too. Everyone worked fast.
No time to turn round. I'll run tender first. Come on.
So since I can't cover Duck in this series because all his episodes that feature him have him in character, why don't we talk about the other Great Western engine? I've been wanting to cover Oliver for a long time now. Hell, I think ever since the Toby video I've been thinking about doing this video. Oliver is another one of my favorite characters. His design is very obviously based on a GWR 1400 class. His first appearance was in the Season 3 episode Escape, where Douglas finds Oliver and his brake van Toad escaping from scrap. He decides to help them, brings them to Sodor, and hides them in the works. When Topham finds out about this, he assigns Oliver and Toad to be repaired and repainted. After this, the other engines give him their respect, and he becomes very hot-headed. One day, Topham tells him that he needs to learn how to look after trucks. The other engines warn Oliver about trucks, but he pays them no notice. This soon bites him back in the ass when the trucks push him back into the turntable well.
But it was too late.
He learns from this, and after he's sent back from the works, he gets into an ordeal with the trucks, and especially their leader, Scruffy. Here's a fun fact, I guess. This episode used to scare the shit out of me, all because of this stupid shot where the camera gets really close to this van's face. Anyways, Toad feels bad for Oliver, and he decides to make a plan where Oliver lines up a bunch of trucks, has Scruffy placed right behind him, and pulls them apart.
I'm coming apart.
Jesus Christ, how is he still
And he
alive?
did.
While we're talking about this episode, I feel like this would be a good segue into Toad. Him and Oliver make a great and interesting duo. His standout moment is in Season 5's Busy Going Backwards, where he wants to go forwards for a change instead of always seeing things slide away from him. He gets his chance one day when Oliver goes up Gordon's Hill and the coupling snaps, causing Toad and the entire train to race around the island. This is cut short though, because he lands in a pond in the end. On the topic of Season 5, we got another really good Oliver-centric story here. In Oliver's find, Oliver is kinda depressed, I think, and yearns for a nice run. He gets rough with the trucks, causing him to accidentally shunt a bunch of them into a turntable well. Man, what is with Oliver and turntables? And Topham tells him that he'll be assigned the mail run for a while. This ends up working out for Oliver when he's switched onto a different line and he crashes face first into an old shed. Once Topham catches wind of this and heads over, he finds an abandoned house next to the station and decides to make an attraction out of it. After this, Oliver didn't really appear much. He almost died and plowed through a snowman in Season 7, and after this, he kinda just disappeared after this. But it wasn't until my favorite season of all time when Oliver made a reappearance in Season 12. After his short-lived return to the show, he disappeared again, and it wasn't until Season 18 when he made his second return. He's mostly fine in this era, besides his CGI render looking pretty bad. Why is he so small? But there is one episode that I consider to be Oliver's worst episode. This being Season 19's Toad and the Whale. Why? Let's get into it. The episode starts with Toad singing a little tune. Oliver thinks it's funny and tells him to carry on with singing. A little later, Oliver is now very noticeably kinda tired of Toad singing. Duck pulls up and starts yapping about the Great Western Way again. Toad apologizes to Duck for singing, and Duck tells him to maybe do work quietly.
Perhaps it would be best if we all did our work quietly.
Toad notices a beached whale and tells Oliver about this. Oliver treats this as a joke and tells Duck,
Never believe this, Duck. Toad says he's seen a whale. That's not a very good joke.
But it's not a joke.
This is where the episode goes sour. Why is Oliver so dismissive about this? Toad sounds pretty serious, and I don't think anyone would be joking about a whale on a beach. Oliver tells Toad to be more serious and to stop singing and making jokes. Toad sadly obliges, and we're then shown Toad parked in a siding. Thomas pulls up and asks Toad if he thinks it's a good day. Toad says it was, and is about to tell Thomas about the whale, until he cuts himself off, thinking Thomas won't believe him. Thomas asks Toad what he's talking about, and Toad tells him about the whale. Oliver cuts him off and tells Thomas that he just imagined the whale.
I saw a whale on the beach at Bluffs Cove.
He imagined it, Thomas. Come on, Toad. All that sun's gone to your head.
Jesus, why is he so mean to Toad? Thinking about it, shouldn't Oliver have seen the whale anyways when puffing by? Come on, there's no way he didn't see that. Come on. Later, Oliver asks Toad if he's okay, and Toad tells Oliver off for not taking him seriously and interrupting his singing. Oliver apologizes, but immediately cuts himself off when he notices the whale. He slams on his brakes and apologizes for doubting Toad. They alert the Sodor Search and Rescue Center, and the rescue team are sent over to Bluffs Cove. Oliver and Toad help the team by bringing water to keep the whale wet. Butch tries to move the whale closer to the sea, but Harold says that the tide is too far out. Toad and Oliver are disappointed by this news, and the men cover the whale over and dig trenches around it so when Flynn and Bell pump water over it, the whale stays wet. Oliver says that the whale can swim away once the tide comes back in, and Toad says that that could take hours. Toad then gets an idea and says that they should pick up the whale and take it to Brendam Dock so they can dump it in the sea there. Oliver dismisses Toad again and says that they need to take the empty tankers back to Knapford. I mean, I get letting the rescue team continue with their job, but you're not even gonna tell them Toad's idea? Once they arrive back at Knapford, all the engines are talking about the whale, and Thomas asks Toad what's wrong. Toad tells him that the tide won't come back in for the whale and says that he doesn't know what's wrong with his idea. Toad tells Thomas his idea, and he says that it's a great idea, and Oliver is dumbfounded by this.
Of moving the whale to Brendam Docks.
Fizzling fireboxes! That's a brilliant idea, Toad!
It is?
Maybe if you let Toad tell the rescue team the idea, the whale would have been back in the water already, but
Yeah, we gotta deliver these tankers.
Thomas tells Topham about Toad's idea, and he telephones the rescue manager. He sends Thomas to collect Rocky, and they safely put the whale onto a flatbed. Toad says the whale looks very sad and tired, and Belle chimes in saying that she heard that whales like singing to each other. So, Toad brings out his inner SoundCloud rap career and sings to the whale as they puff along to Brendam. They arrive, and Thomas asks Cranky if he can bring the whale back into the water. Cranky says that he'll try, and he safely puts the whale back into the water.
Now he's back inside the sea. He's beside himself with glee. Beyond the seaside, inside the sea.
Alright, that was a sweet ending. Everything else, on the other hand... Now, the idea of this episode is really cute. Toad coming up with an idea to save a beached whale, and the way Thomas was implemented in this episode was actually really good. I like how they actually made him do something instead of him just being there, cause, well, he's the main character. What I don't like, however, is how dismissive Oliver is to Toad here. They've known each other for years now, so it just kind of feels weird for him to act like this. And it's kind of funny because no other engine treats what Toad says as a joke except Oliver. And another thing, why does he just decide to deliver those empty water tankers? I get leaving the rescue team to go do their job, but he doesn't even check in with the rescue team about Toad's idea to bring the whale back to sea. Overall, while Toad and the whale isn't the worst thing ever in terms of the episodes I've covered, hell, I think this is the least frustrating one I've sat through so far, it's still not a good Oliver episode. He completely dismisses Toad multiple times and should have seen the whale anyways in his peripheral vision. Hell, even Duck could have seen it. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe as it helps out the channel a bunch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. There is one more thing I want to say before we close the video. This being that I've done a collab with someone. Mix Productions has released a video talking about Magic Railroad and how to fit it into Season 2. It's a very good watch. His editing is great and I make an appearance in it. Definitely think you guys should watch it and check out his other videos. Link to it is in the description.
Trick or treat? How about smell my feet?